Welcome to VocaTales, where stories meet calm English listening. Sit back, take a deep breath, and let's enjoy today's story. When I came back to the city, it didn't welcome me with silence. It greeted me with the sound of tires on wet roads, distant horns, and the hum of hundreds of lives happening at once. Yet somehow it didn't feel as loud as before. Maybe it was me who had changed. I walked through the same streets I used to rush across every day. The buildings were still tall, the traffic lights still blinked red and green, but the air carried something new, a rhythm I hadn't noticed before. The city was breathing, living, moving, and I was finally listening. The first few days felt strange. After spending so much time with trees, rivers, and wind, the constant motion of people felt both overwhelming and fascinating. Everyone seemed to be chasing something: a bus, a dream, a deadline. I used to be one of them. Maybe I still was. But now I knew how to pause. Each morning, instead of rushing to start the day, I made tea. Not coffee, not something quick. Tea that took time. I'd pour hot water slowly, watch the steam rise, and let the aroma fill the room. It was my quiet ritual, my small rebellion against the rush of the world. One morning, I went back to the cafe where I used to work. It was still the same. Warm lights, soft music, the smell of roasted beans. The barista recognized me. "Long time no see," she said with a smile. "Yeah," I laughed. "It feels like forever." I sat near the window, the same seat I always used to take. Rain started to fall again outside, soft, steady, familiar. People ran past the glass, holding umbrellas like colorful shields against the sky. Inside, the air was calm, filled with quiet chatter and the sound of cups touching saucers. I opened my notebook and began to write again. Not stories this time, but thoughts. Slow, quiet reflections. Maybe peace isn't a place you find. Maybe it's a way of walking through the same places, seeing the same things, but with a softer heart. Days turned into weeks. Work returned, calls resumed, life moved on. But now I noticed small things that used to disappear in the noise. The old man who fed pigeons every morning, the flower shop lady who sang while arranging roses, the sound of children laughing in the park. Before, I thought the city was just chaos. Now I saw it as music. A song with too many instruments, yes, but if you listen closely, every note has meaning. On weekends, I started taking quiet walks. Not to go anywhere in particular, just to observe. The way rain gathered in small puddles, how reflections of lights painted the ground at night, how people's faces changed when they thought no one was watching. I learned that the city had its own seasons too. The slow bloom of morning markets, the rush of noon traffic, the melancholy of empty streets at midnight. Sometimes I'd stop at a small bookstore hidden in an alley. The smell of paper felt like an old memory. I'd pick a book, sit by the window, and watch the rain trace stories across the glass. One afternoon, while sitting in that same cafe, I met someone new, a traveler who had just arrived from another country. He was sketching the city in his notebook, capturing buildings, people, umbrellas, all in soft pencil lines. "Beautiful work," I said. He smiled. "Thank you. I like drawing cities in the rain. They look more honest." That sentence stayed with me. Cities in the rain look more honest. Maybe because rain strips away the noise, revealing the soft heart beneath everything we build. We talked for hours about places we'd been, books we'd read, and the strange comfort of solitude in crowded places. When he left, he said something simple but true. "The more I travel, the more I realize home isn't a location. It's a feeling you carry." Nights became my favorite part of the city. When the lights dimmed and the air cooled, I'd sit by the window of my small apartment, watching the glow of street lamps reflect on the wet pavement below. Sometimes I'd put on soft music, piano, rain sounds, and just listen. It was in those quiet nights that I started understanding something deeper. You don't have to escape your life to find peace. You just have to meet it differently. I began keeping a new journal, not for escape, but for gratitude. Small notes, simple moments. Today, the rain stopped exactly when I stepped outside. A stranger held the elevator for me. The sunset looked like honey melting through the clouds. They weren't grand events, but they were enough. Enough to remind me that beauty doesn't need to be dramatic to be real. Months passed. The rhythm of the city became my own again, but this time it didn't drain me. It carried me. Like the river I once sat beside in the forest, this city flowed too, endlessly, imperfectly, beautifully. One evening, as the sun disappeared behind the skyline, I walked to the bridge over the river. The water glimmered under the streetlights, and the sound of rain began again, soft, patient, endless. I stood there for a long time thinking about the person I was before I left, and the one I had become since returning. The difference wasn't in what I saw, but in how I chose to see. "Peace," I wrote in my journal, "is learning to stand in the rain without running for cover." And as I closed the notebook, I smiled, because for the first time in my life, I didn't need to go anywhere to feel free.